Hi, Mary Knipple, a book mentor, and we're here with our monthly training. And I decided that this month we would be talking about the questions that have been coming up when I've been talking to people about, you know, they'd love to be writing. Here we are in February, the month of lovers, and I love writers and words, but they get stuck on, well, when's the best time to write? And how do I know I have a story? And what 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 is it that I am supposed to be writing about? And how do I know if anybody's even gonna want to read this? And then what do I do after I've been writing for a while? And how do I organize all of this? And so we're gonna break that down. And I like to use the reporters of questions of who, what, when, where, why. And I add my own caveat to that of talking about heart. So when you have this longing to share something, first of all, who's your audience? Who are you talking to? You have to know who this is meant for and how you're going to engage them. And first of all, remember that you are included in that who. You want to keep yourself engaged in this story. And what you're talking about is something that has made a difference in your life that you are finding to be fascinating, and you want to research more, you want to understand it, and you're so excited about it that you want to share it. And where are you going to put this? Well, that's up to you. I mean, it could be that it's a blog post and it's on your website. It could be that it's part of the curriculum for the course that you're developing. It could be that it's an insight that you are so immersed in that it grows up to be a book, or you're part of a group that it has created an anthology, and so you're part of the thread of all of those stories that come together with a common theme of how we are going to impact the world with this common theme. So and the when is, that's up to you as well. You want your writing to be timely. You want it to have the impact that you are longing to have, so that you're conscious of, when are you going to launch this into the world, whether it's a book or a blog. Pay attention to when you're engaging with your audience. If it's a blog, then you want to be engaging on a regular basis. If it's a book, maybe you do look at the market. But the when can also be, when are you complete with your thoughts? When have you gotten it to the shape that this is what I want to share with the world? And I know some writers will say, well, they're never satisfied, but their editor said they have to, or their contract said that it's got to go out. They have to be done. So in that sense, then that's their when. But when you have a big project like writing a book, you have to have set a deadline for yourself that this is when I want to have my first draft. This is when I want to ideally have it going up on Amazon, or I want it from the printer so that I can take it to an independent bookstore. So it's that the when can be negotiated if there isn't a contract with another party. And the why. The why coincides with the heart. It's your motivation of your writing. It's that core message. It's the heart of your transformational story. The incident, the inciting incident that made a difference in your life and has is compelling you to make a difference with your writing. For me, I've been writing since I was 11, and knew that keeping a journal was going to make a big difference for me. And things that I wrote in my journal showed up in my book, The Secret Artist, about my breast cancer experience. That's my big why. And expanding further on that, my why is that I'm on a mission to help other women to recognize that their story matters, and no one can tell your story from your perspective except you. Nobody else knows the internal things that went on so that you came to this conclusion, you made those changes, and you show up as who you are today because of what happened then. Um, we we've been through something significant, all of us, the past 3 years with COVID. However, we've all had life experiences since the moment we were born. So pinpointing COVID as something that we have in common, but we have many, many things in common that were born. We went to school. We perhaps went to college. Perhaps that our first job was while we were in school, or our first job was the first time we really had to take responsibility for all of our bills. So those could be commonalities. Having an illness could be a commonality. Having um, a loved one pass away could be something that we have in common. Having lost a job, that could be something we have in common. So those can be a why, that when you talk about your personal why, then your reader can lean in and get it, that there's something that we have in common, and we and so that your reader goes, she gets me. She's been through her own, and it's not the same circumstances, but the essence, the feeling, that overwhelming despair, that overwhelming, what do I do now when I thought I had it figured out and everything is just gone? So be very, very, very involved in your story, in that you know your why, and that's infused in the writing that you are doing. Um, okay, let me look at my notes to see. Um, okay, okay, um, and that brings up the question of, how do I stay motivated? Well, that can be a little tricky, because there are all kinds of things that can take us down the rabbit hole, that can go squirrel. Oh yeah, that's more interesting than figuring out, what's not working in this section. So it's making making the choice of staying the course to work on what needs to be worked on, and to be sharing the message that you are designed to be sharing. And it's like anything else that you want to accomplish, that you have to decide that you are going to finish this, you are going to keep working on this, and you're going to make it happen. A, a trick is to tell yourself, okay, 5 minutes a day. I'll see what happens if I commit to five minutes a day. And you'd be amazed how much writing you can get done in 5 minutes a day. And then You're sitting in your thoughts are coming, your writing's flowing, and you decide, oh, 10 more minutes. And it could turn into an hour. But you have made the decision that you are going to commit to 5 minutes a day. That's why I always encourage people from the very beginning that they start journaling, that they meet themselves on the page to just do a brain dump. And it may be that it has something to do with what they finally are going to be publishing somewhere. But, and always, always, it coincides. It fuels what they are going to be eventually publishing, because it may be that you needed to get those words, that story, out of your head, out of your body, physically, by writing it down. And writing it down, I mean it, writing it down, pen to paper. After you do the journaling, then you can take it and put it on the computer. But you're in a totally different part of your brain when you are typing. You're already editing, and when your fingers are on the keyboard. And everything I ever done, personally and professionally, started in my journal. So I know that that's the gold mine. That is where your treasure lies. And buried treasure, it could be, because you've buried it, and you're excavating, you're discovering it when it comes out of your pen. And going, so another thing is that, how do I know anybody's going to care about this? I guarantee somebody is out there that is longing to hear what you have to say. That it's your job to share your unique story, because they're waiting for it. So they can identify, somebody gets me, somebody understands, and I get emotional, because that's my journey. That is my mission, is to be a witness and a catalyst. I mean, I'm be your champion, that your story matters. And no one can tell your story from your perspective except you. And there's somebody out there that needs to hear from you. Somebody is waiting for your story. And one of the things that I will hear very often is that I don't know that I could ever write a book. I'm just so intimidated by the thought of, that's so much. And the thought of an anthology, well, it's a group and it's fewer words, but I don't know, that's still a big undertaking. So I had this brainwave. So here we are, folks. We're to the part where I'm talking about something, something in the wind for 2022. I had this brainwave that I would be the coordinator and the publisher for an ebook of 22 women giving words of advice in 2022 to their younger selves. We've heard over and over again that here we are in 2022, and 3 years of COVID, and we've had to pivot and look at how we've had to make all of these adjustments. Well, yeah, we had to make adjustments. It was a shared experience. Well, we've had life experiences, and women especially. I mean, we pivot, we punt, we are resilient. We do it all the time. So it's not just that we're going to focus on what have we learned since COVID. It's, what would you tell your 22-year-old self? What would you tell your younger self? What do you wish your younger self had known? And I'm making it simple. I'm asking for 50 words or less. 50 words or less a paragraph, a couple sentences. So it's not a long drawn philosophy. It's you talking to your younger self with, I wish I'd known, or in the future, this is what you focus on. And just imagine if you had been thinking 2022 is the year I'm going to publish and you didn't know how. Here's your first way to publish almost painlessly. Almost painlessly. 50 words. And you don't have a lot of time to think about it because I want to publish this for Women's History Month, which means we only have a few weeks. So you're listening to this call right now, this training right now. Put ebook in the chat and tag me so that I can reach out to you and we can get this going. I'm going to hold a call so that anybody who needs a little coaching around, well, what kind of thing should I be writing about? I can help you with that. And if you're listening to the replay, put ebook and tag me in the chat as well so that I can come back and help you. But just think about it. March is around the corner. It's Women's History Month. What better way to celebrate it than to have a book on Amazon that you are sharing wisdom with other sage women. And we're giving advice and inspiration and hope to other women. Yes, we're addressing it to our younger selves, but we're all going to take something from it. We're all going to benefit from us sharing that wisdom. What would you tell your younger self? How would you encourage her? Knowing what you know now and who you are now, the phenomenal woman you are now, what would you tell her? So this is my bright idea for encouraging those reluctant writers who have a longing to be an author, that almost painlessly to write 50 words of encouragement to their younger self, and they'll have a book on Amazon. Put ebook and tag me in the chat, or if you're listening to the replay, put ebook and tag me in the chat, and put replay so that I know I can come back and connect with you and send you the information about the group call, or go to my website, yourwritingmentor.com, and in the banner I've got ebook Wise Women Wisdom 2022, and you'll get the information there for you to sign up and join us. Yes, there is an investment, but it's a way for you to be an Amazon author in 2022, almost painlessly, only 50 words. I'm Mary Knipple, the book mentor, giving you an idea for you to be a published author in 2022. See you next time.